Hello guys, welcome to Rolling Sky. This is my second Rolling Sky video today. I earlier did my video on Midnight Carnival. But today we're gonna beat Neon. I know, it's upsetting, I always die on the end, but this time I actually died there on purpose so I could beat it the first time in video. And I'm not gonna watch an ad because I'm gonna explain to this level to you. Basically, this is the hardest level in the game, and it'll be the last level I beat before I do all the 5 stars with the crowns. And, my opinions on the 5-star levels, I'm just gonna say my opinions on which ones were hard or not. All the ones easier than Deep Space, not on the list, but just easier in Deep Space, were not extremely bad. They were not the extremely hard 5 stars. Relics, Reggae, those were super easy for 5 stars. Like, Relics and Reggae, if you practice enough, shouldn't take you, like, any time, really. Unless if you're brand new to them, then if you're brand new to 5 stars. Unless you're brand new to those two levels, actually no. Unless you're brand new to 5 stars, then those two should be very quick. Like, unless if one of them is the first 5-star you're ever beating, Relics or Reggae, then they should be really fast. Like, if you've beaten another 5-star before, then those two should be extremely easy. Egypt should be a 5-star, and it's stupid that it's not. It's not as easy as Relics or Reggae, and it'll still take you effort even if you're really good at the game. But I mean, like, really, really good. Like, able to beat the hardest 5 stars then. And even if you're really, really good at the game, unless if you can just first try every level, then it can take you some effort. Frick you, Fairy Mania. Or Fruit Mania, or whatever the heck it just said. I don't even read these ads because they're stupid. Street Basketball is quite a bit harder because Street Basketball has these, like, fast parts which are really difficult. As, of course, if you don't remember, Reggae created the speed portal, and the first few levels after Reggae, this game is being pissed because Moby's in. The first few levels after Reggae were, at least most of the first few levels after Reggae had speed portals. Relics and Fairy Tail didn't, which was a shame. They weren't even that good. But Street Basketball did. Hoop Dream didn't because it was a 1-star. And that was made a little bit later. The Midnight Carnival and Halloween Escape did. And yeah, let's just say that speed portals were used, at least for a few levels. Both of the two Reggae levels, Reggae and its remake, Mental Rave, and both of the two 2017 Halloween levels, Halloween Escape and Midnight Carnival. All 4 of those had speed portals, and Street Basketball did too. But the bonus level for it, Hoop Dream didn't, because Hoop Dream was a 1-star level. Stupid game. I'm just gonna randomly do an attempt in low quality just to get it to work. I'm not gonna beat it in low quality though, because low quality is like the ugliest thing in this game. You know what, I'm resetting the game. There's no way I can beat it like this. But anyways, yeah. Besides speed portals, yeah, Street Basketball has some really hard parts using the fast ones. There's really, like, no hard parts in any levels using the slow ones. The slow ones are just, like, a few percentages. It's just, like, a little bit. It's like a slight break, to be honest. All the slow parts in all the levels were just breaks. Because they weren't hard. But Street Basketball didn't even have any slow parts, and its fast parts were very difficult. They were the most difficult parts of the level, hands down. Like, if it weren't for the fast parts in Street Basketball, it wouldn't be too bad. It'd probably be, like, easier than Egypt. But anyways, then you had Poker, which didn't have speed portals, but I felt like it was harder than Street Basketball, as there were some fairly difficult timings, especially towards the end. Like, the last 30% or so of the level got really difficult. At least I felt it did. I felt that the last 30% of Poker had some really difficult parts in it. And, yeah. Some really confusing parts, too. You had to memorize the level quite well. Frickin' this game and its lag. And Mobizen. Mobizen frickin' sucks all the way. Anyways, then you had Cube, which Cube was probably easier than Poker once you knew what to do, but it was pretty dang hard to memorize. Like, Cube had a lot of memorization, and that's what made it hard, was you had to memorize so much. And it was just like, what the hell. So I felt it was harder than Poker, but I don't know, it could have been slightly easier. The stupid freaking game! I'm sorry, I'm so mad at Mobizen and the game. The game broke because of some ad I got about some dressing some girl up simulator. Anyways, Varying Christmas is a good bit harder than Cube, but it isn't like, it isn't one of the where the levels start to get just truly insane. Well, the levels start to get truly insane when you hit 5-star difficulty, but it's like, it's not to the point where the 5 stars actually become overwhelmingly difficult to the point where they could technically, if you had 10 stars, these, like, after Varying Christmas, let's say if there were 10 stars, let's say that for the 1 stars, there would be 1 stars and 2 stars, and, if there were 10 stars, then each one would get its own, 2 ratings, and the harder ones would be rated with the harder rating. So let's say it would just be a difficulty of a number. I think Cloud, Hoop Dream, and Massive would all be difficulty of 1. And then the 1 stars that actually become 2. Wait, no, the Eye of Horus would be a 1 as well, but the 1 stars that would become 2s would probably be the Winter Illusion and 8-bits. And then for the 2 stars, they'd get 3 and 4 stars. I think that the ones that would be 3 stars would be, Sky, Fairy Tail, Mental Rave, and Joker. And the ones that would be 4 stars would be Halloween. I'm just gonna call them 4s because, you know, the ones that would be 4s would be Halloween Escape. Not Halloween, Halloween's a 5-star. But yeah, Halloween Escape, Laser, Dazzle. Those would be 4s. And then, of course, there'd be 5s and 6s, which would be the 3 stars. Why, Mobizen, you frickin' suck, B. You're so not cool. What is wrong with you? BS. Okay, this is getting out of hand. I can't beat the level because Mobizen is lagging so much. Anyways, for the 3 stars, I think that the ones that would be worthy of 5 stars would be Monody, Matrix, and Candy. And then the ones that would be worthy of 6 stars would be Forest, Desert, and Kung Fu. And then the 4 stars would be 7 and 8. The ones that would be worthy of 7 would be Volcano, Ghost Dance, and Ignite. And then the ones that would be worthy of 8 would be City, Psytech, and Tetris. And the 5 stars would be 9s and 10s. Now, I think, Relics, Reggae, Egypt, Street Basketball, Poker Cube, and Varying Christmas would all be 9s, and then the toughest of the tough, the 10s, would be Deep Space all the way to Neon, which is the hardest level in the game. But anyways, yeah, but after Varying Christmas, you go into, like, Deep Space, which Deep Space is pretty dang hard. As I told you, all the levels that were 5-star or 5-star difficulty but weren't 5-star, cough cough, Egypt. But those levels that were easier than Deep Space and were, let's just say, 5-star difficulty, were not obscenely hard. You didn't have to be extremely good. Some of them just required 1 skill. Relics barely required any memorization. Relics was sort of a mix, but in most parts it was like 1. Like, there was almost no memory within the first 30% as it was just skill. And then later it became a little bit more memory based. And then it became skill. And then, like, there was that one part towards the end which was memory, but pretty easy. And the very end was very slightly skill, but I'd still call it memory, so it was like, it used 1 in one part and 1 in the other part, and it just turned out to be really easy, because the few parts that actually required skill were the only hard parts. Because the memory was so easy in Relics that it was just like, what the heck. Reggae was mostly just skill. There wasn't too much memory to it, you just had to be skilled enough to do the fast parts. As with almost every level that used fast parts, the hardest part was the fast part. Like, with almost every level that used, fast speed portals, the hardest part was the fast part, was at least one of the fast parts. With Reggae, I gotta say it was probably the last fast part at, like, what, 77 or something? Street Basketball's fast parts are notoriously hard. They're like the only hard parts of the level, to be honest, compared to like the few memory bits. They're really not. The rest of the level isn't too hard. It's like Relics to Reggae difficulty, but then you just have those few fast parts which make it quite a bit harder. What is wrong with this game and Mobizen together? It is the piss duo. You are a piss-filled duo. I wish you would go freaking, take an overdose of heroin so that you die. I don't know. Okay, just never mind. That got out of hand. Anyways, that's how bad this lag is. Anyways, but like, Deep Space had quite a few memory parts, but it was mostly skill, I'd say. But the problem was, like, Deep Space had some hard parts. Like, I will admit, like, the first 30% of Deep Space was actually really easy. It was probably easier than, like, a lot of Varying Christmas was. Deep Space was not a consistent level. Like, Cube and Varying Christmas, the 2 levels that I'd recommend doing before it, those levels were, very consistent in their difficulty. At least, more or less. I felt like Cube definitely was. Yeah, Varying Christmas definitely was, too. There was no specifically hard part. What the heck, I just got the gem. I'm doing this the easy way. Well, there was one part that was there was one part that was a little bit harder than the rest at, like, 43%, but Besides that, it was extremely consistent. And poker was very consistent too, besides like the last 25%. The last 25% was just annoying because it was the hardest part of the level, but besides that last 25%, it was pretty easy. Freaking, what is wrong with this? You really have to do this when I'm in the hardest level in the game? I can't even get past 30% because of the stupid lag of this game. You want me to force stop you, Mobizen? Do you want me to freaking force stop you? I'm so close to cursing. It's like, I'm gonna beat the crap out of Mobizen when I'm done with this recording, even though I know I can't. I'm sorry, Tablet, but you have to deal with this app ruining your performance. And you could be doing really good like when I played earlier as a practice. This app right here is the worst thing that ever existed. This app right here is freaking Satan pooping on everyone. Okay, that was the worst joke I've ever made. That wasn't even a joke, that was literal. That's like, if you use Mobizen, be warned, Satan will have diarrhea all over your tablet for as long as you record with it. At least if you're me and you seem to have bad luck with it. Players that are really, really good with this game seem to not have lag, but I do. Then again, Adam Story does, and he's really good. But anyways, I personally think that, Deep Space, like, the first 30% was super easy. But then, like, at 36, it got a little bit harder, and then it pumped up in difficulty quite a bit at, like, 45% or so. And then at, like, 64-something%, I think it was 64, it went into the second drop, which was the hardest part of the level. And then, like, it just brought this onslaught of difficulty, which kept increasing the further you were in the level. Like, the further you were in the level, it just kept increasing. And that was the issue. Like, 64%, it got a lot more difficult, and then, like, by, like, 74% is where it started to become absolutely obscene, and, like, 64 to 74, I think it was, like, the second most difficult part, but then, like, 74 to 84 was just absolutely insane, and drove you insane as you played it because it was so annoying. And it pissed you the hell off because it was so much more difficult than the start. The good thing was that the end wasn't hard. That's why Midnight Carnival sucked. Because, see, I mean, like, 80% sucked, which is almost the end. But see, what happened was when you got past, like, 84% or something, it was a straight shot until the end. It just became... Luckily, the level was at least kind to you, because once you got past its peak of difficulty, it was just easy for the rest of the level, which I found was nice. Even though you did have to remember the end a little bit, as there were a few parts which you couldn't see coming, and you could die at like 96 pretty easily if you didn't know that those parts were coming. As soon as I got past that hard part at like 80% or something, then I beat the level first try. I fluked the level, let's say. Beat the level first try does not fit. What is wrong with you, Mobizen? Kill yourself. Wait a second. Okay, I'm back. So... Yeah, Deep Space had that, like, extremely hard part for, like, 20% of the level, and then it just became easy until the end, but that hard part was so hard that it made the level, like, more difficult than it needed to be. But if it didn't have that extremely hard part in it, it probably would have been easier than Varying Christmas. Then after you had Deep Space, you had Halloween, which Halloween was only slightly, harder than Deep Space. That it was definitely more consistently difficult. The end was slightly confusing. There were a few parts which were really fast. And it was really difficult in some parts. A lot of it wasn't that difficult, but some of it was really difficult. So yeah. Of course it has to do great in the first part, yet it lags here. But anyways, the green theme seems to make the game lag the least out of these three themes. Like, for some reason when I'm in the green theme it doesn't lag at all, yet whenever I'm in like the red theme it lags a ton. Which is a problem because the hardest part of the level is in the red theme. Anyways. Yeah, Halloween was pretty difficult. There were no parts that were specifically hard in my opinion. Besides maybe 51. 51 was a little bit of a troll because you had to go extremely fast, but besides 51, there was no specifically hard parts, it was just hard throughout. Then after Halloween, I'd say Christmas was the next hardest. Which Christmas was a lot like Deep Space, where one part made the entire level extremely difficult. The first 30% of, like, Christmas was easier than the first 30% in Deep Space. The first 30% in Christmas was really easy. For, like, a level that's supposed to be harder than Halloween, the first 30% in Christmas was really easy. Then you had, wait, I'm getting far, actually. I need to focus here. Because this is the hardest part of the level. Oh my god, everything just got intense. I got past the one part which was nearly impossible for me. Okay, here we go. As long as I don't die at that one part when the theme turns green. Here we go. I died at the part I just said! I feel like my heart isn't even beating anymore. Anyways, yeah, basically the first 30% of Christmas was super easy. And when you got to like 39 or something, it got quite a bit harder. And then at 50% it got really hard. And then it just got insane until, like, for some reason it just got insane until the last theme change. So yeah, Christmas was another one of those levels where it was pretty inconsistent in difficulty because only one part was like back-breakingly hard. More like brain-killingly hard is this level. And I felt like after Christmas was E-Labyrinth, which had a ton of memory in it, and it was very difficult to memorize, but once you did, it wasn't the worst. I felt like the worst part, as in terms of difficulty, like the hardest part was probably 53%. Like, there's just this one part at 53%, which required this really steady but very difficult timing. And it was very intense once you got past it because it was still pretty hard. Like, it still was pretty hard even once you got past the one part which was very hard. So it was a little bit of a pain to deal with, that part. That 53% really, like, just made E-Labyrinth very difficult because you had to memorize the whole level again, and the part directly after that was, like, super difficult. Oh my god, I made it through there again! Oh my god, wait. Don't die at 77 again. I beat Rolling Sky. Yes. I beat every level in the game. You can rest now. Thank you. But then again, I will have to do them all with the crowns again. Well, at least 5 stars. Neon. Hardest level in the game by far. I felt like if I had to give the 5 stars a rating of the extreme ones, there were 4 which were way harder than the rest of them. There was like this huge bounce. There's this bump up in difficulty after you beat Halloween. Every level harder than Halloween had a huge rise in difficulty from one level to the next. Like, it was, no, are you kidding? Anyway, basically what happened was Halloween was only slightly lower in Deep Space, then you went to Christmas, which was quite a bit. And then you went to frickin' E-Labyrinth, which was a lot harder than Christmas. And then you went to E-Labyrinth. Even though Castle in the Sky was extremely fun, it required so much skill and memory. And the one thing I will admit was with Castle in the Sky, the first 70% was very difficult. I felt like the first 24% was not extremely bad once you memorized it. Like, once you memorized the first 24%, it wasn't that bad. And then 24 to 50% was quite difficult, but not extremely difficult for this level. It wasn't the peak of difficulty, but it was very difficult. But then like 50 to 70% was extremely difficult. But then once you got past 70%, it was very easy until the end. Once you got past 69, it was very easy until the end. Which is weird that the hardest part is at 69. And then, yay, some 5 stars, which is more or less accurately rated. The 3 at the bottom. Felt like the 5 stars were very inaccurately rated. And then you had 1-Up. Which 1-Up was insane because it was very, very memory-based. Maybe it didn't have as much memory as E-Labyrinth because of the fact that, no way, this level probably had more memory than E-Labyrinth. And not only did it have more memory, but it was harder to memorize, and it had more skill mixed in with the memory, making this level extremely hard. There was one specific part at like, what, 50 5%, 60%, this green part. And then there was this blue part directly after it that was like, this part at like 55% that was green was very, basically you had that green part and then directly after was a blue part. And those two sections were very difficult, like the whole level was extremely difficult. Yet you just had those two sections. We're actually in that part of the song right now where you'd be in the green section. And right here you transfer to the blue section, but like those two sections were so extremely difficult, and it was just like the rest of the level was still extremely difficult too, yet you had those parts that were quite near the end, and it was just like this level, even though it's only one harder in my opinion, it's only one up from Castle in the Sky. Wink, wink. It's only one level up in difficulty from Castle in the Sky, yet it was way hard. It was way harder. I mean, I know it's rated as the hardest level in the game, and it's not, but it was still way harder than Castle in the Sky. And it was, well, I don't know what to say. It was a lot harder. That's what I'll say. Then you have Midnight Carnival, which was also one up in difficulty from one up, wink wink. Yet it was also way harder. But this level was the most annoying level in the game. And the reason why is because they had this, basically this thing where, I felt like the first 50% wasn't too bad. I mean, there were a few bad sections, but this level is probably the only 5-star level. Maybe the only level in the game where if it had a fast speed portal, well, besides Halloween Escape, this was the only level in the game besides Halloween Escape where if it had a speed portal, then that was not the most difficult part, because the first 50% of this level is not too difficult. Like, the first 30% of this level was pretty easily memorizable and easy to do. And then you had like 30 to 50%, which was fairly difficult. But once you remembered it, it was easy. But then you have the part of the song that we're in right now. Like, once you hit 55%, this level just suddenly gets bumped up in difficulty a huge amount. There's this person named Geo-Pro51 who used to play, I'm pretty sure. Used to play. I'm not sure if he still plays it, but he used to play this game, and he said that the last 30% or so of this level was terrible, and it looked like it, but I was not expecting the last 30, not even the last 30, but the last 45% of this level to suck so much. Like 55 to 70 was pretty bad, and then at 70 it had more moving blocks where the hitbox was, At like 50, once you hit 70, they started bringing in these moving blocks where the hitbox was way too big, and it was really aggravating because you didn't even get hit by the block, yet you died. That pissed me the hell off when I was playing this level. And then, like, then once you, get to, like, what is it? Then you get to, 88%. Once you get past 85%, remember all the zombies and vampires? They flipped you off. And let's just say that all the zombies, vampires, and Satan, once you get to 85%, they all flip you off. Everyone just flips you off as they give you, like, one of the hardest things in this entire game. Like, the end of this level was insane. It almost reached, like, the peak of my skill. Like, there were only 2 levels so far which actually, like, which trifled with my skill level. Like, I recently got very good at the game and I've been beating these levels pretty quickly, but, like, This level and Neon were the only two levels which actually had parts which were so difficult that they actually questioned how good I was at the game and made me die over and over again. And this level, sadly, just happened to have its last, like, 14% be obscenely difficult and ruin the entire level. Because it was full of these moving blocks where, the hitbox was too big. And then there was this part at 96 with an extremely tight timing. And it's literally the part of the song that we're in right now, but, like, it is by far the worst and by far the most annoying part of the level. And it is extremely difficult. Then you had Neon, which again was only one up in difficulty from Midnight Carnival. Yet it was way harder. This is by far the hardest level in this game. Now I will admit, this level was more consistently hard than the last few levels, as with the other extremely hard 5 stars, even though E-Labyrinth was more of just a hard 5-star, not one of the 4 extreme levels, it still was the 5th hardest level. And I will admit that E-Labyrinth, it wasn't extremely consistent, like, but it was more consistent than the rest of the 3. Castle in the Sky, as I said, like, the first 24% was very easy compared to the rest of the level. 1-Up, the start of 1-Up was extremely easy, like, the first 45% of 1-Up was extremely easy. For the difficulty it was at least. I mean, it wasn't easy, but it was still it was very, very easy for the difficulty it was at. Midnight Carnival, the first 30% was very easy. And I guess like 60 to 70% was pretty easy too, so it was just that one little timing at 55 in Midnight Carnival. But this whole level, had 2 parts in it which were way harder than the rest. And with those parts being harder than the rest, they still had to go and put this part. The rest of the level is still very difficult, besides the end. Like, the last 23% of this level, no, the last 22% of this level is extremely easy. Like, the last 22% of this level is literally free. I'm not joking, like, the last 20% of this level is so easy, it's literally free. And that's why when I got past 58%, I literally, I practically had a heart attack. Because of the fact that this is the hardest level in the game. It's just like the whole level is so hard. The hardest part of this level is the calmest part of the song. Like, if you know that section of the song which is like 35, we're nearing it. It's like 37 to 70% somewhat. Here, we're reaching it in the song. The part of the song from right here all the way to when the second drop in the song hits you. That part was definitely the hardest part. Well, no. The part of the song that we're in right now is definitely the hardest part. There was this one part at 58%, which was nearly impossible. Like, that was the only time. At least Midnight Carnival, it was very, very hard in the end, but it was doable. And I think I did it like twice or something, but this level, I was extremely lucky in this video because when I got to 58%, or at least besides when it was lagging, when I got to 58%, I actually didn't die. It was like, there's this part where you have to go between 2 of those circles that move across the map. And it's directly at 58%. And that part is so difficult. I can't even count how many times I had practiced and I saw shields die. Just because the supersonic ball, I didn't even want to use the shields, yet it was just like, I just ended up going through there with a dead shield. I've only ever gone there like 3 times without having a dead shield. Yet I've been playing this for 4 hours. I'm not kidding, I've been playing this for 4 hours, and out of those 4 hours, only 3 tries I managed to get through 58% without either my shield dying or just me dying in general. So yeah. But even though it was insane, it's still my favorite level in the game. Like, the hardest level is my favorite level, who gives a frick? It's amazing. The song is definitely my favorite song in the game. And the level looks amazing. Like, just by looking at the background of this theme, you can tell that it has some of the best themes in the game. Like, there's probably no level in the game which looks so good as this level. I mean, I will admit Ignite looked good, but there was no level which was as good as this. I feel like just saying that this is going to be my last episode as in beating a new level, as all I'm doing now is, all I have to do is do like the 5 stars and then get all the gems and crowns in them. And that'll be it. Once I do that, I'm done with the game until they release another level, so it's gonna be like that. Yeah, I felt like, let's say first we're gonna go over the 10 hardest, and then my 10 favorites. So obviously Neon was the hardest level in the game, or else I wouldn't have done it last. Midnight Carnival was the second hardest, because of the end. It probably would have been easier than 1-Up if it weren't for the end. But 1-Up was the third hardest. The fourth hardest was Castle in the Sky. The fifth hardest was E-Labyrinth. The sixth hardest was Christmas. The seventh hardest was Halloween. The eighth hardest was Deep Space. The ninth hardest was Varying Christmas. There it is. And the 10th hardest was Cube. Now for my 10 favorites. Neon was definitely my favorite level in this game. It's very recent, but it's still my favorite level. The level itself, even though it's so obscenely difficult, looks so amazing, and it's actually very well designed, at least. In my opinion, I'd say that this level is very well designed, and that it's a very good level. And the song is easily my favorite song in the game. Like, there's no song as catchy and amazing as the song in this level, in my opinion. And I just like the song in this too much. Get out of here, I don't want to play Neon again. I'd say my second favorite level was, well, for some reason, the second hardest, Midnight Carnival. This level was really well made. Even though it had a troll end, it was still really good. And the song was really good too. Probably the best version of that song that I've ever heard. And it's also very well fits the Halloween theme. What was my third favorite level? Tricky Malicky. I'm pretty sure I got that from Eggs and Wilderman. Might have been Castle in the Sky. See, I think I like the song in 1-Up better than Castle in the Sky. One Up used to be my favorite song in the game. No, wait, I know what my third favorite was. It was Poker. That's it. The song on this level was really good, and the level was really well made on its own. Had one of the best themes in the game. And the bonus level, even if the level itself wasn't amazing, the bonus level for this ended up having a really great song too. And the song for this level was amazing, so I just gotta put this in third. Even though it wasn't extremely hard, it isn't in the top 10. It's just barely out of the top 10 hardest levels in 11. At least I'd say. Say my fourth favorite's probably Castle in the Sky. My fifth favorite's 1-Up. I mean, this could always change, but I might actually like 1-Up more than Castle in the Sky because I like the theme a little bit more. Castle in the Sky probably had better gameplay, but the theme in 1-Up was really good. And I spent so long getting the crowns on 8-bits that it just feels comfortable to be in those themes. That's probably the fourth, and then Castle in the Sky is the fifth. My sixth was E-Labyrinth. My seventh was probably Varying Christmas. It was very good, but the gameplay was a little bit buggy. My eighth was Egypt. My ninth was Street Basketball. My 10th was probably Halloween. No, my 10th was Cube. Actually, I don't know. Cube might be actually my 7th favorite. And then Varying Christmas in 8th, then Egypt in 9th, and then 10th would be Street Basketball. And then Reggae, actually. Yeah, Cube's song was really good. And the theme is so nice to look at, like... I like the gold theme in this level so much. If you know the gold theme in this level, Cube, also the main theme for Matrix, that theme is so nice to look at. But yeah, stuff like that. Those are my favorites and the hardest levels in the game. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Look forward to seeing me doing all these 5 stars with all the gems and crowns. For some reason, I already did Egypt. Because I felt like the crowns in Egypt, I already knew what to do, really. Because they were pretty... They were actually not too complex. They were not very hectic. Like, you just had to take a few looks at them, study them well, and get the gameplay of it. And really, the only one that was that hard was the third crown. Really, the only one that even gave me trouble was the third crown. And besides the third crown, it was very easy. So, this level actually had some pretty easy gems. But then again, that's probably because I'm experienced with the weird timings that come with gems. And crowns. Well, no, I felt like the first and the second crowns in this level were very easy. And the gems that came with them were too. Once you memorized it, it was all easy. The only difficult one was the third crown, which was very difficult. Like, the third crown was very difficult. That's probably one of the most difficult crowns so far, though. The third crown was the only one difficult, and it was extremely difficult. Wait a sec. Okay, so, yeah, besides the third crown, the other crowns and gems in this level were easy. I don't know about the ones that are actually rated 5-star. Street Basketball, the gems. There's one gem which looks very difficult. I know that for sure. I don't know about the others. I'm probably just gonna have to... This is gonna be one of the ones where I'm gonna have to try it out and see if it's hard or not. Because I don't know. That's the thing. I totally don't know what I'd be getting myself into. So, yeah. Heard that Varying Christmas, the crowns are actually pretty dang easy. And there's like 1 or 2 hard gems in it, so I feel like this level's gonna be an easy one, to be honest. Because I know that the crowns are fairly easy. And yeah. Relic seems to be easy too. Not too bad. The crowns don't look that hard. Then again, they're always all in the end for some reason. I don't know why they always are, but they just seem... They had this period in time where they always put all the crowns in the end. And it was really annoying. I think they're still doing it more or less. Well, they definitely did it with Dazzle. They seem to be putting the crowns all very late into the level. I don't know why they're doing it, but okay. All the Midnight Carnivals were, that's for sure. Anyways, Poker. Now, I've heard Poker is the hardest crown level in the game. There's a reason why I tried it out. I've heard that this level has the hardest crown in the game. Or at least, maybe that it's not the hardest crown level, but that it has the hardest crown in the game inside of it. Because people have said that the third crown in this level is suicidally hard, and I tried it, and it is very difficult. It is very, very difficult. But yeah, the second crown is way easier than it looks, but I don't know. That's gonna be a difficult one, Poker. Castle and Sky doesn't even have crowds, so it should be easy. Deep Space 2. Halloween as well. E-Labyrinth as well. Christmas 2. Yeah, all these levels up here have only gems and no crowns, so they should all be pretty easy. But then you have Cube, which I've heard Cube is probably the hardest crown level in the game, because not only does it have mystery boxes, but the mystery boxes are very difficult to get, so yeah. Be prepared for some pain. Heard that Reggae. Actually never heard anything about its crowns, but they look very difficult, at least from what I know. At least its last crown looks pretty dang difficult. The crowns in this level look pretty dang difficult. And you have Midnight Carnival. Frickin' no! Which, I've seen that the crowns in this level don't look too hard, besides maybe the last crown, which is sadly right at the end. But anyways. Neon! I've heard that Neon's last crown is... I heard, at least Shavibe said that the last crown in Neon is the second hardest crown in the game. If this is right, then this is going to be obscene, because not only is it already the hardest level in the game to beat on its own, but if it has the second hardest crown in the game, then I'm not looking forward to it. Then again, it looks harder than Poker's last crown too, though, so who knows. Then you have 1-Up, which I've heard 1-Up is also very difficult, because just like Cute, it has mystery boxes. But anyways, see you guys in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know why they're optimizing the ranking list. Really quick, I'm going to take a look at some of the ranking leaderboard stuff. When did they start doing the leaderboard? It wasn't Poker, right? It was Reggae. Wait, what? What the? How am I at the top of the leaderboard? That's not possible. Okay. That's weird. I'm first on the reggae leaderboard for no reason. What about Mental Rave? Yeah, they definitely did something wrong with this. I don't know why. It's really weird. It's really weird. Joker. Oh wait, Joker doesn't have a leaderboard, idiot. Anyways, it's made before reggae, so why would it? Fairy Tail does. 5. Halloween Escape. I don't know how I'm at the first spot on like almost all of these. Like, really, I don't. What else has a leaderboard? Ignite. City doesn't have one. Forgot. Egypt? Wow. 69. Free basketball. Jose is in first. Again, I don't know how I'm in this first place in that. Anyways, bye.